Welcome back. It is Monday, November 7th in the NBA, and we have all 30 teams in action today. I got my 4 favorite picks on the way. Let's recap yesterday, though. A 1-0 day. Steven Adams, under 6.5 points, does cash. It did survive an injury. Glad he's okay. I don't really like cashing a play due to injury, but he did come back. Only ended up with 4 points. Let's carry that momentum into today. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. Drop a like, too. We're 42-21 on the year, doubling up our wins over our losses. Let's keep it going today. And as a reminder, since it's Monday, we do have our Monday Night Football, Ravens versus Saints, best bets video already live on the channel. You can go check out that. Won't lie to you, my NFL picks were bad this weekend, but I think we're going to bounce back on Monday night. You can go watch that video after this one. And a reminder, there's no NBA video tomorrow. Don't come into the comments unless you want to annoy me saying, Austin, where's the NBA video? There won't be one. We don't have any games tomorrow in honor of election day or voting day in the U.S. So make sure you go out there and vote. Our college football best bets video will be live in the morning, though, in case you want to watch that. And this video is sponsored to you guys by Underdog Fantasy. A little bit more on them a little bit later in the video, but if you sign up using our code COS or the link in the description, you get a 100% deposit match. I'll have an Underdog Fantasy parlay at the end. Let's hop into it. The best bet segment had yesterday off. It doesn't have today off, and we're riding with this guy on my shirt. The Halliwagon, Tyrese Haliburton, taking us over 33.5 PRAs. The best bet segment looks to move to 16-3 on the year. And if you need an individual line for Haliburton, I lean his points, but his assist is so good. This is Haliburton. He can get a 15-point, 15-assist night on any given night. This is the guy that passes it a lot for this Pacers team, and I think he's going to have a pretty good game in this one. Now, Tyrese has made us plenty of money since he was traded to Indiana. I mean, the guy's been a wagon. That's why he's called Halliwagon. But we look at Tyrese and the Pacers. They're back at home taking on the Pelicans, and the spread in this one, only 6 points. So I've seen some books at 5.5, and the over-under might be the highest we've seen this so far this season, 235.5. So they're expecting a lot of points, and I think the Pacers keep this game close. Now, the Pacers have several key injuries, which are important for Haliburton because, number one, he'll at least get his normal minutes and potentially more. Number two, he could get a couple more field goal attempts because guys like Chris Duarte, a guy that shoots a lot, he's out. Hopefully he's back soon. I think he's out for 4 to 6 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. Aaron Nesmith and Andrew Nembhard, both are questionable. Don't know if either of those guys will play. And Tyrese has been great at home this season. He's had 37, 42, 38, and 40 PRAs in his most recent home game. And the 40 PRAs was when we took this identical line in his last game. And this is the guy that drives to the hoop a lot, averaging 14, I believe almost 15 drives per game, the most on his team. If you've ever watched the Pacers play in general, Haliburton, if whoever gets the rebound, the ball normally goes straight to him and he brings it up. This is a guy that's fun to watch. If you've never watched him, you should definitely watch him. He's a really fun player to watch. And if he's aggressive with his shot tonight, he could make this bet a no-sweat bet. I mean, his last game versus the Pelicans, he had 31 PRAs. That was the game he only had 11 field goal attempts, and De'Aaron Fox was on his team because he was back in Sacramento. If he's aggressive tonight, gets 15 or more field goal attempts, should be able to drive. I don't really trust Jonas Valanciunas blocking him in the paint. Not a great rim protector. Give me Tyrese Haliburton. Best bet of the day, 1.5 units. We'll take us over 33.5 PRAs. But since we have tomorrow off for the NBA, only feels, and we had yesterday, we didn't do a best bet. It's only right that we do 2 today. Another 1.5 unit play on the way. It's going to be this guy, Mr. Ja Morant. We're taking his over 26.5 points, minus 125 on FanDuel. I can guarantee this line changes, so please let me at least address before I get all the comments. Now, these are the lines I'm seeing right now. FanDuel and PointsBet have it at 26.5, minus 125 on FanDuel, putting 1.5 units on that. If it goes to 27.5, perfectly fine there. I think Ja scores 30 or more points tonight. I put another 1.5 units if it does go to 27.5, and that's the only line you have. If you're at 28.5 or higher, only put a unit on it. I don't want to put another 1.5 on that play, although I do think Ja Morant has a good chance of scoring 30 tonight. Now, yesterday, if you bet on Ja Morant or over the last couple games, well, you're down bad. You're losing a lot, but Ja Morant's going to step up and get into the winning column for you guys today. And he went to the locker room yesterday. Should be fine for this game. I don't imagine he doesn't play. I know they played yesterday, but I imagine he's back and playing today. They have tomorrow off. He can rest then. But Morant's coming off a stretch where he's gone under 3 straight games, and that included 20 points versus Portland, 12 points for Charlotte in a blowout, and then 23 points yesterday versus the Washington Wizards. The good news for Morant is his high usage returned yesterday, and he attempted 27 field goal attempts. The bad news, he only made 9 of them. But the thing you got to look at, if he attempts 27 field goal attempts, look, I'll put 9 units on this. Like Ja Morant, if you can guarantee me he attempts a ton of shots, he's going to hit this over almost, 85, 90% of the time. Yesterday, he just couldn't buy a bucket, and it's a great time to bet on a bounce back for Morant in a back-to-back. Look, he can just forget about that last game you get to play tomorrow. Go out there and play pretty well, and I love the matchup against the Boston Celtics, who have really struggled defensively this season. And this is a team that, the Grizzlies want to compare. I mean, the Celtics made the finals last year. If you're a Grizzlies team, you kind of want to see how you match up against the best teams in the league. And when they play at their best, it's normally with Ja Morant going and being aggressive, and I think that's what he's going to be on this in this showdown. In the last 2 games versus Boston, he scored 29 and 38 points. The good news for him, Robert Williams, who was active in that game, the best rim protector the Celtics have to offer by far, he's out, and he's obviously out for a couple more months, weeks. I don't really know how long he's out, but definitely out tonight. And you can have Al Horford in the paint, and no offense to Al Horford, he's just not as good a rim protector as Robert Williams is. Robert Williams is one of the best rim protectors in the league. We already saw what Ja Morant was able to do against the Celtics with him in there. Imagine what he can do without Al Horford, with just Al Horford down there. The Celtics struggle to play defense really all season long. They're giving up a lot of points. His defensive rating's pretty bad. And if Ja Morant can shoot over 20 times, which he's done in 3 of 4 home games, the only home game he didn't do that was a game that was a blowout. I think we're going to have a pretty good chance of cashing this one. I love Morant, love watching him play. I think he has a pretty big night tonight. I know he's been under the last 3 games. It's a great bounce back. You're also going to see guys like Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks. Those guys are going to have to go out there and guard, the Jaylen Browns, the Jason Tatums of the world. Ja Morant pays to score the bucket, put the ball in the basket, and I think he does it a lot tonight. Take his over 26.5 points. The second best bet of the day. Hopefully the best bet segment goes to 17-3 after today. Let's get into my favorite spread pick, and unfortunately we don't have a line for this one. I like the Warriors first half spread. If you want to take the first half money line, you can lay juice on that, but I'd rather take the first half spread. The only problem is, and I'll put up on the screen, it's TBD. I don't know the odds. The only odds I have right now are minus 115 or minus 4.5 is the spread, and I believe it's minus 115 on PointsBet. I just believe we're going to get a better line than that, personally. Maybe we get a 3.5 at like minus 120. Maybe we get a 4.5 at closer to minus 110, minus 105. And I think we'll get that. You can check the pinned comment down below the video to see exactly which line I placed. You can obviously follow us on Twitter at Calling a Shot. We might post an added play too, so definitely check out that because we do added play. There's 30 games on. I'm sure I'll be able to find some more value in a couple other games. Now, let's talk about why we like the Warriors, though. Warriors in desperate need of a win. They've lost 5 in a row, all of those on the road. They return back home, and this is the game where a championship team like the Warriors need to come out here, need to establish something and say, you know what, we need to get back on track, and I think they do that at least in the first half against the Kings. Now, look, the Warriors have been good at home. They just haven't been good on the road where they just lost 5 straight. I think they're back at home, and I think that people might be trusting the Kings too much with their money, betting on them either full game or first half. Look, I don't trust the Kings whatsoever. The Kings have not been a great first half team either. But at home, the Warriors played pretty well. They've played 4 games at home, winning 3 of those 4 first halves. They won those by 7, 18, and 4. If we can get the Warriors first half spread at 3.5 or lower, I take that. I imagine we'll take it at 4.5. So it only would have cashed in 2 of the 4 Warriors home games. But the great news is the one they won by 18 points was against the Sacramento Kings. They beat them by 18 in the first half, and that's all we care about. Now, look, the Kings have not been a great first half team. This is their 4th straight road game. The previous 3, they've lost the first half in all 3 of them by 18, 2, and 15 points. I like the Warriors full game as well, but I think the first half is probably the safer play in this one. I think the Warriors got to come out, establish some momentum. I'm not worried if Stephen Curry or Andrew Wiggins, they're going to be out there. I just think they got the last game off due to rest. They haven't played in 2 days. This team has been thinking about their 5-game losing streak for over 2 days. They come out here, play pretty well. I think the Warriors have a good chance to blow out this Kings team. They absolutely need it, and I think they do at least win this first half by at least 5 or more. I'll let you guys know the exact odds that I placed, but if you get it at 4.5 at like minus 110, take it. We're waiting for a FanDuel DraftKings line as we speak. So let's move into one more player prop. We'll talk about an underdog parlay, and maybe we'll add some plays at the end and maybe sometime throughout the day. Devin Booker taking his over 27.5 points, minus 102 on FanDuel. Now, you can get this at 26.5 for juice on some books. I think I saw minus 118, minus 120. I think DraftKings had like minus 130. Look, I'll take the minus 102 for one more point. I heavily considered his teammate, Mikal Bridges, and I'll give you a hint. He'll be in the underdog parlay. So feel free to play Mikal. We'll talk about him in a second. But I like Booker tonight in what should be a pretty close game versus the Philadelphia 76ers, and they're in Philly. Now, Joel Embiid, I imagine he's back, right? We've been imagining he's back for the past couple games due to illness, but he keeps staying out. I really don't think he misses this game. And the spread indicates that. They're putting this basically at a pick'em. Joel Embiid should be back. And the Suns are banged up. They're lacking scoring options, and Chris Paul looks hesitant to shoot. They got Cam Johnson, who's out, who takes 10, 15 shots a game. Cameron Payne off the bench. He could be out. He's questionable. He missed their last game. DeAndre Ayton, assuming Embiid's back, he could be in foul trouble. Mikal Bridges should play pretty well in his return to Philadelphia. We'll talk about that in a second. But Booker, like Morant, is under in 3 straight games. He scored only 18, 25, and 24 points. 2 games, he didn't shoot well from the field. The third, he just didn't play in the 4th quarter. That was the game he scored 24 points. I imagine he would have hit this over if it wasn't a blowout. And I don't see this game being a blowout. The Suns have only played 3 road games this season and haven't played one since October 23rd. In the previous 2, Booker led them in scoring 33 and 35 points. This is a guy that gets to the free throw line a lot as well. And Booker, So why we're here. He's dominated the Philadelphia 76ers in his career. In his last 10 games versus Philly, he's averaged 35.2 points per game. If you want to ladder a guy, this is probably the one. Averaging 35.2 is ridiculous, hitting this over 9 of 10 games against the Philadelphia 76ers. The one game he missed, he scored only 19 points, and that was in only 30 minutes. We saw Chris Paul score 28 in that game. I don't think CP3 is putting up 28 points tonight. And if you do, then go bet on it. It's probably like plus 1,000 odds. I think Booker is going to be the guy that leads this offense, especially with Cam Johnson out, DeAndre Ayton potentially dealing with foul trouble thanks to guarding Joel Embiid. I think Devin Booker has a pretty good game, over 27.5 points. I think he scores over 30 tonight. So we'll take his over with confidence. Only one unit on it because you never know with Devin Booker, but I do like him. Now it's Underdog Fantasy time, the sponsor of the video. If you sign up for Underdog, make sure you use code COS or the link in the description. You get a 100% deposit match. I put $20 on this parlay for a payout of $400. Not too shabby. It includes some leans and some plays that we're already on. First one, Cade Cunningham, over 21.5 points. It is a lean. I did consider Cade and SGA, who play against each other. They're both their overs in points. Cade back at home, taking on the Thunder. I know Lou Dort will probably be on him, but Cade Cunningham's going to shoot a lot of shots, and I think he's going to play pretty well at home. He's gone under in like 2 straight. Back at home, where he shoots a lot and plays a little bit better, shoots more efficiently. I think he's got a good chance. Tyrese Haliburton, his shirt's right to my right. I don't need to talk about him anymore. And we talked about Devin Booker already. Mikal Bridges, the reason people are on him, and I'm taking his over 12.5 points. It's probably going to go up to 13.5. Well, it's his return to Philadelphia. I think he grew up in Philly. He obviously went to Villanova, close. And then obviously the Philadelphia 76ers drafted him. He got so excited. His mom worked for the team, don't know either way. And then they traded him away to the Suns. I think he's got a little bit of he's back in a homecoming. I think he's played pretty well in Philadelphia. We took it last year when he was in Philly. I think he has a pretty good game again. I don't think it's going to steal a lot from Devin Booker. Mikal isn't a guy that normally shoots like 20 times. Booker will still get his. And then the final leg, Brook Lopez over 13.5 points. I considered Giannis, but I think the Hawks are going to sell out to stop Giannis. They're just going to put John Collins and have Clint Capella trying to contest him at the rim. I think you're going to see Brook Lopez sitting in the corner. His threes for like 1.5 threes is like minus 160. So they're pretty confident he knocks down 2 threes. And he's been playing pretty well for him. They don't have a lot of offensive options. And he already scored 20 points against this Hawks team before. Why can't he do it again? So if you want to tell me, sign up for Underdog using code COS. And you get a 100% deposit match. Time to shout out some all-stars. Appreciate all you people for supporting the channel. And then I'll talk about 3 reminders at the end. Here's a couple of them. We got CSLR, we got Joshua, we got Bradley, we got Creative Manifestation, we got Tony Cueto, Sean Johnson, James Betty, and Sean Johnson. Again, there's 2 of them. I love. I won't question it. Thank you guys all for the support. 3 reminders. No NBA video tomorrow. If there's any added plays, you'll know about them in the pinned comment and on Twitter at Calling Our Shot. Number 2. Like I said, if I add a play, you'll know about it in the pinned comment at Calling Our Shot on Twitter. Follow us there. Number 3, Ravens versus Saints best bets video. Pop it up on the screen. It's right over my face. Go click it. You can go check that video out. My favorite player, prop, spread pick, same game parlay, first touchdown score, whatnot. Appreciate you guys as always. It's gonna be Austin. I'm signing out. See you guys back again on Wednesday for our daily NBA videos. We got a bunch of games on Wednesday. See you guys then. Let's cash 2 best bets. Let's keep it rolling. I'll see you guys then. Peace out.